Hello everyone. I guess I'll make this like episode 0, a little short explanation, introduction to me and why I'm doing the Camino de Santiago. Back in 2016, this is 2023 now. So back in 2016, I got in a really bad motorcycle accident. I was waiting to turn left, stopped on the road. Young driver behind me didn't see me, was texting, and hit me at about 55 miles an hour while I was sitting still. Needless to say, I got a quite expensive trip from a helicopter, life flight, to the Seattle hospital where they put me in surgery immediately. Broken pelvis, wrists. I mean, just, it was pretty ugly getting hit at 55 miles an hour, like imagine just sitting in a lawn chair in the middle of the highway and having somebody just hit you. You go up over the hood into the windshield, they hit the brakes, you tumble out of the windshield down the road a quarter of a mile. Pretty brutal. I had actually a helmet camera on my motorcycle. I had a helmet camera I'd ride with, and the helmet camera showed all the scene. It wasn't pretty. I think I watched it once, and that was about it. Then we gave it to the insurance company so they could do their thing with the evidence. So after that, 8 days in the hospital, 3 months in a wheelchair, recovering, broken pelvis and all that, and casts. Then having learned to walk again. So that was entertaining. Imagine just sitting for 3 months with no muscle movement hardly at all. You couldn't put any weight or load bearing. All the muscles had atrophied. My calves were like the size of a pencil. Everything was just terrible. I couldn't even lift my own body weight. So at that point, I said, well, I need to, get exercising and moving again, get back into shape, whatever, Hey, I mean, round is a shape, right? So I'm in shape, round, and went through physical therapy for just a little while. They said I was fine. I just need to exercise. You just need to get out there and get those muscles back. So it took about a year to get back into what I would consider, a healthy, position where I could walk and do stuff. It was pretty brutal. My hips are still painful. It's permanent. I'm all bolted together and wired and pinned and screwed. It looked like Evel Knievel or something. Probably got all these wires in me and plates of steel and stuff holding my hips together. But at that same time, I still like to hike. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, the Seattle area, so I like to hike and get out there. So I went ahead and started doing some walks and hiking, and I went into our local REI store and outfitter store, and there was a couple that was going to be presenting a documentary they did, a little half-hour show and tell about Camino de Santiago, this pilgrimage hike in Spain that I've never heard about. So I went through there, and it was really interesting. They had some great photos. It was a great area, really I guess inspiring to see. And I thought I could do that. I'm gonna try that. So that led to, basically researching the Camino, of course, watching the movie called The Way. So I watched that. That was, pretty inspirational too. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to keep going on that. When I retire, right? When I retire, I'm going to do that. Well, that was 2016 when all this happened. Like 2017, I was decent enough. I could do some hikes and still ride motorcycles and stuff like that. By 2019, I was ready for retirement. I was going to retire early in 2019. So I said, I'm just going to retire. I'm done. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. So I got out of that. And lo and behold, we all know what happened in 2020, right? The first 3 months of my retirement were like wonderful, and then COVID hit. So for the next, couple of years, everything slowed down. I didn't really slow down too much. I mean, I went out and I hiked and I social distanced and all that stuff. It was pretty distant, 40 miles from anywhere. So that was pretty distancing. But that gave me some opportunity to get out there and enjoy, actually, ironically, a lot of peace and quiet by not having so much population out there on the trails and doing stuff. So that really led me to this. And I said, the minute the world opens up again and we can travel without a lot of these restrictions, I'm going to go for it. So it's 2023. In January 2023, I booked I booked myself the plan to do this probably starting in, April, May, June timeframe. And right now that's what it is. It's April 23. So April 2023. So I went ahead and started all my planning and all my training. I started walking more and hiking more and carrying, a 12-pound backpack and stuff like that. And that got me to the point of booking the trip to get here. I had to fly through Iceland to get here just because of the way the route was. So I ended up staying a 5-day layover in Iceland, and that was wonderful. Got to see the Northern Lights and do some quad rides. So I got my motorcycle time in, kind of. It's a four-wheel, but it's still a motorcycle. So I went ahead and did that. That was pretty fun. So then from there, I flew down from Reykjavik, Iceland to Paris. I stayed overnight in Paris because I had to catch the train at 7 o'clock in the morning, and there was no way I was going to do that leaving Iceland. So I stayed overnight in Paris, did a really nice little Paris by night tour in one of these 1945, Citroen open roof vehicle. You can stand out of the roof and video, So I did that. That was pretty fun. If you watch the channel, you'll see that night in Paris too. And then from there, I took a train down from Paris to Bayonne, and then another train from Bayonne to here, to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. I'm finally starting to learn how to kind of spell that and pronounce that right after 3 or 4 months of trying to butcher that spelling. But everything in France here, I butcher. The poor people look at me, they just shake their head I say, I know, what can I say? So that's a little bit about me. I'm here now. I'm actually up in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port at the Citadel. This is a walled city. It's really ancient, beautiful, just an incredible place. So I'm up at the top of this little Citadel wall you'll probably see behind me, and just giving you this little quick intro as to a little bit about me, why I'm doing this, and hopefully you'll follow along. Yes, it's going to be painful. My left hip especially has always been, since 2016, the left hip's been just a pain in the hip. But it is what it is. Luckily, it doesn't seem to get worse as I'm hiking. It's painful, but it just stays the same pain. The pain level doesn't increase. So I just push through it, and nothing like a bunch of ibuprofen and Tylenol and stuff, the magic pain pills, That's what they gave me when I was in the hospital, was instead of heavy drugs, it was just ibuprofen and Tylenol. So that seemed to be a pretty good combination. So I've brought a good stash of that. And I'll be taking off. Let's see, today is Friday. I got here Thursday, so today's Friday. I'm going to stay here a couple of days just to wind down, because everything we do in life is so fast. I hear people back home, men and women, oh, my mind, I can't sleep at night. I'm always tossing and turning. My mind won't turn off. I can't turn my mind off. Does that sound familiar? I can't turn my brain off. And it just seems like it's our society. Everything's fast. Fast food, fast this, fast that. You get in the car, you go somewhere. Get on a motorcycle, you go somewhere. Get on an airplane, fly, 500-600 miles an hour somewhere. You get a 200-mile-an-hour train to get here. Everything's fast, fast, fast. And your brain you're just always moving so fast that it's just, what's the next thought? What's the next thought? So when I got here, I was planning to stay here a couple of days just to wind down and not think. So here I am up on the top of a Citadel mountain in France with the birds singing and beautiful scenery. My heart rate's like 64, instead of 80, So everything is just about slowing down, because this is going to be a long trudge. It's a little over 600 miles when you add in my path to the coast all the way to the end. So, it's a little over 600 miles, and I'm going to give myself, a long time, 40, 50 days. I don't care, whatever it takes. I'm retired, right? Who cares? Buen camino.